Hi everyone, welcome back to SQL 50 series. In this video, I'll be solving another SQL problem. Problem number 1141, user activity for the past 30 days. Let's take a look at the problem statement. We are given a table called activity. This table has 4 columns: user ID, session ID, activity date, and activity type. This table may have duplicate rows. The activity type column is an enum of type open session, end session, scroll down, and send message. The table shows the user activities for a social media website. Our task is to find the daily active user count for a period of 30 days ending 2019, July 27th, inclusively. A user was active on some day if they made at least one activity on that day. Let's take a look at the example. In the activity table, as you can see, there are 1, 2, 3, 4 user IDs. Activity date. Let's take a look at this activity date. On this date, let's count how many active users. There are 1, 2. So on this date, there are 2 active users. For activity date, July 21st, there are also 2 active users, user IDs number 2 and 3. So on this activity date, there are 2 users. For activity date 2019, June 25th, there is 1 active user, but because this activity date is outside the range of the 30 days ending 2019, July 27th, so this date will not be counted. So how do we go about solving this problem? So from the problem statement, to get the count of active users, we are going to get the number of active users. We're going to group by activity date. And the condition is where the activity date has to be between 2019 July 27th, and so remember in last video I used date add to add the number of date to the current date, but this time we want to use date sub, which is the opposite of date add. So it's going to be between that date and date sub of this date right here, interval 30 days. All right, and another thing we need to notice here is that range is inclusively, meaning it's gonna be between, so we have to include this date. So it's gonna be between July 28th and the interval, instead of 30 days, is gonna be 29. So this is our condition. So let's write the query. So we are going to select activity date because that's what we need to show here. Activity date, and we call it day. Next, we're going to have the count distinct user ID as active user. We need to count distinct because when we group by activity date, we have duplicate rows of user ID number 1 here, so we want to count the distinct user ID. All right, so I'm gonna select those from activity table, and we group by activity date, and here we are going to add the condition having activity date between, as I noted above, it's gonna be between date sub. So date sub 2019 07 28 27 interval 29 day, and this date 2019 07 28, because we want the date inclusively, so we have to include the 27th in this, and also 30 days before we also include that day. So let's run this one. Alright, my output looks good. This day we have 2 active users, and on this day we also have 2 active users. Let's submit and make sure that we pass all the test cases. So I passed all the test cases. Runtime 984 milliseconds, beats 26.80% of users with MySQL. So that is it for today. Thank you for watching, and I see you in another video.